Wait, let's see. I had a question for you. Maybe you have one, Amanda. Sorry.
Yeah. So, um, besides the point, because that is a absolutely crazy find, do you have like a crazy experience or a creepy experience or find that you might have had while out detecting or?
Yeah, so I would say, I found a couple. I would say the first thing was a couple years ago, neighbor's yard, 1700s house. It popped out and was a Fraternal Order of Eagles medal, a small medal, commemorating their first, I think, statewide convention, something like that, in 1908. It was held locally here in this county. So that was really cool. It's got like the crest of the city that they held it in. And I came to find out, I think that they, had something to do with Mother's Day and like being the first to kind of celebrate that and push that forward. So that was kind of cool. Another was just actually a couple of weeks ago, I found a pocket watch fob that has, I started kind of cleaning it off and I saw there's like a little girl at a desk with like a globe and a stack of books. I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting. It was ornate in its own right, just with that kind of scene on it. And then I flipped it over once I got home and started kind of like lightly cleaning off the back of it. And I saw this script, that script that you see that's like, nobody has that kind of handwriting anymore.
Yeah.
Eventually I cleaned it enough to read it. And it was a spelling bee champ for the county in, I think it was 1906.
That is cool.
And I thought that's just super cool. This kid must have been thrilled to get that and dropped it. And now, I'm thinking about
how unique
her life.
That's so unique too. I mean, gosh, because you said it was within that county or that area. Wow, that is super cool. You never know what you're going to find.
And the sadness
exactly, you can't think this stuff up.
No, you really can't. Those are those nice surprises that you get, and you're like, what in the world? I just never would have thought, one of those. That is so cool.
I was like, the poor kid that lost it.
Sorry.
Right. Yeah. I was going to mention creepiest find, I haven't found it. I see people finding like teeth and, prosthetics and different things. I've never found any of that. And I'm kind of thankful that I haven't, because I don't know what I'd do with it. But I did find at a family member's house, I think an 1832 house. Mm-hmm. And I posted it on ID.me. This was a couple of years ago, thinking it was a cap gun, but it actually was a real revolver. It turns out to be an 1875 Whitney number 1.5 rimfire revolver. And God. Only God knows what that was doing in this front yard. But that was, it was the closest I got to a creepy find, I would say.
That is creepy, but it's so cool too. Man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh man, that is too cool. I don't know why I love locks and keys and guns, and I love finding the bullets too. The old bullets, not the new. I find new bullets and new shotgun shells all the time, but I love finding the Civil War bullets too, and that era. Oh man, that's so cool. So I've got to go check out your Instagram, because everybody's talking about how cool that copper piece is.
I've got some good pictures up of that and some other. I I was compelled to start this Instagram because people always tell me, you find, especially my wife, you find so much cool stuff. You really should like share more of it, in terms of photos and stories and stuff. So, so I started that Instagram to start doing just that.
It's also a great way to document and catalog. I mean, Instagram, I kind of wasn't so great at this year, but it's great to be able to look back and go, oh, I found a matching one of these or blah, 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 and have it there is awfully nice. And the community on Instagram is great. It's a great community.
Really great. Yeah, I agree. Actually, in the theme of cataloging, Amanda, I use this app. I don't know if anyone else out there uses it. I know XP came out with, I think, the Go Terrain app recently, and it's probably similar. But I've been using this for a couple of years. I think it's called TectoTrack, and it's a similar thing where it uses GPS to follow you. And so you can basically kind of grid a field or any property with this, and just go back and see where you've been, see where you haven't, but also record each find, a photo, depth, description, all that stuff. And it's super quick when you're in the field, which is really nice. And then that gives me some historic look back to build on every year, right? If I keep going back to the same field or same property, it's really nice because it'll help me kind of hone in on different areas and different,
Very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, I know there's another one out there. I forget. I think it was Trey that was working on it for detectors to use and stuff, and at like events and whatnot, and use on their own time. But I'm not sure what happened to that. I'll have to actually, now that you had mentioned that, I need to write that down and go chat. Yeah, go chat with it. So, how do you do your research? So, speaking like for finding areas to detect, are you doing like word of mouth? Are you door knocking? How do you go about it?
Yeah. I don't mind door knocking, but I don't, when I'm around here where I live, I've got enough places to go through the other methods. Although sometimes I'll door knock, right? If you're just like driving and you have no kind of like, connection to somebody, through like the social network, it's, you could always door knock, and I do that occasionally, but I would say primarily old maps, the classics, old maps. I do subscribe to Onyx because that's super helpful to get, the owners' names, and the library and old books. So one of the things I've been doing is investing in old history books for different areas, and those will often like touch on stories or things that were even older, right? And if the book's from like 1860, something that's a story that's 100 years older that's been passed down that they cite in these things. That's a good spot to check out. So, and then newspapers, you can search old newspapers online now, and occasionally I'll use LiDAR if it's like a big property and I'm looking for old home sites. But between all that, it keeps me busy.
It sounds like it. So I've got a question for you, Brandon. Do you ever run across any like legends of big treasures or anything that you get curious about and kind of start researching and maybe go look for? You run across anything like that yet?
Like old treasure, like stories, like local lore?
Yeah, local lore, or big treasures, or maybe something in the history of your area that has a big, maybe a big treasure involved or anything like that.
Stolen gold.
Yeah,
Buried in the
I've heard. Right. One of those, like one of Brad's videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have heard of stories from, detectives who've been at it locally longer than I have, but have never really dug in enough on them to commit, a day to, it's that takes a lot. And I feel like I often have enough permissions where if I get the opportunity to get out, I'm like, okay, I'm there. I want to hit this one. I've been thinking about it for weeks or months. So haven't really jumped in with both feet on any local legends yet, but it sounds super fun. And I'd love to do it at some point.
Cool.
Can you tell our listeners how they can find you on social media?
Yep. So the Instagram I just started is Lord of the Swings _NY. And I've been told that handle could have multiple meanings. So I will leave that up to the audience to but no, it's about metal detecting. And on Facebook it's just Brandon Dingeman with an E after the G.
Fantastic. So you're on Facebook. You don't mind chatting over there or on Instagram?
Yep, I love them both.
Fantastic. All right.
All right. Yeah, I just found you on Insta.
Yeah. You might have gotten a couple subscribers over on your Instagram.
Yeah.
couple.
Nice.
Couple
I
from
love it.
tonight.
I need to learn how to use it.
Yeah.
And then
Tell us about that. Is that Victorian 19th century brooch, that serpent brooch? That looks cool.
Oh yeah, that was actually at a dump site that I also went back to on Saturday. Funny enough, so I found at that site stuff ranging from like 1865 all the way up through like the 1920s, and so it's actually a really fun place to dig because there's so much variation in what comes out of the ground. At some point, I need to do like a group shot of all the different cool things I've found. Cap guns. I actually just found one of those first good luck tokens with the all the good luck things at the time. I think it was the 1920s. The wishbone, and I think they call it a swastika, and it was reappropriated for something else.
Right.
So lots. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So lots of different kind of cool things came out of there. That is the only piece of jewelry I've found. But like so ornate. When that came out, I couldn't believe my eyes.
That's really cool looking. I love stuff like that. It's so unique too. Never seen one like that.
Yeah, exactly. Same here.
Let's see.
So have you attended any detecting events?
Oh yeah. I love going to the Nor'easters events down in the Catskills. Jess and Kim, I think usually do it twice a year. So looking forward to the next one of those. I've definitely done digs. I think at least one dig stock in the past, maybe two. Amanda, I think I saw you at least one of them, but up in Shazy. Yeah.
Pretty sure, but I just want a lot of people.
Yeah.
And
then the dirt fishing adventures one is great too.
Yeah. Brian's are a lot of fun. Do you think you'll be attending any this year?
Yep. Oh, and Bone as well. Yes. So I'll be at Bone in April.
Yep.
And definitely looking for many more to fill up the calendar as much as I can. I love events. It's great, like chatting with people and getting on new property, and it's just super fun.
Are you going to dig stock this year?
No, I don't think the one down in it was like down south, right?
Yeah, in North Carolina.